everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday, and BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So again, with the theme or the idea that Valentine's Day is pretty much right around the corner, you know, a few days away, we're going to talk about some books that warmed our hearts. So last week we talked about books that broke our hearts. They did. Let's fix that a little bit with some books that warmed our hearts. So I have 5 recommendations here, and they're all very brightly colored, which is kind of fun. So the first one I'm going to start with is actually a follow-up. So I talked last week about reading The Friend Zone because that book broke my heart a little bit. Follow it up with the Happy Ever After playlist by Abby Jimenez. This will now warm your heart. So it'll help mend what the friend zone might have broken. So this one continues on with the story that was already set up in the friend zone, so I don't want to spoil anything, so pick this one up as well. Next one I want to talk about is The Right Swipe by Alicia Rai. This one, again, will warm your heart. We have Rhiannon Hunter has revolutionized romance in the digital world, but in real life she only swipes right to her career. She has no interest in a relationship. So she, ends up getting to know Samson Lima, who's a former pro football player and is working with his grandmother on a competing app. So Rhiannon has developed a dating app, and then Samson is working on a competing one. And there's a understanding that these two need to be brought together, but there's a bit of a history between the two of them. Rai thought that Samson had ghosted her at one point in time. You get his story, you get her story. It's just, you know, misunderstandings and, you know, not great communication. I mean, those types of tropes, as long as you're okay with that, I think you'd find this really, really sweet. It is a very sweet book. Next one, I think I've talked about this a lot lately, is The Gunko by Stephen Rowley. This touches on a topic that maybe you would have thought would have been in my breaks your heart category, because it follows an uncle who is caring for his nephew and niece for a summer while their dad is in rehab, dealing with something after their mother just passed away. So sad topics, but yet really heartwarming with the relationship he establishes with these two kids, the lessons that all 3 of them really learn, and there's so much humor in this book. It's so fantastic. Totally will warm your heart. All right, next one I have is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. I love reading Morgan Matson books. They're really good, actually, summer books. They're YA. But this one I especially love because it follows a couple of best friends. We have Sloane and Emily. They are complete opposites. Sloane is outgoing. Emily is more reserved. Emily doesn't take risks. Sloane goes crazy. All of a sudden, the beginning of summer, Sloane is gone, and he basically has left Emily this list. Did she call it anything? It is 13 Sloane-inspired tasks that Emily would never normally try. And she's kind of challenged with it. And Emily's like, well, maybe this is like a test. Like, if I do this, will Sloane come back? What's going to happen? But it's 13 things that it just helps her kind of find herself. And it's just a really fun little challenge or adventure for her. So really liked this. I love a good book about good friendships. Definitely will warm your heart. And the last one I want to talk about is Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Another fun contemporary book following Rachel as she goes to Singapore with her boyfriend and kind of gets a very quick lesson in the family that her boyfriend has. They are crazy rich, and she has this really good friend. I actually talked about her not that long ago and made me think of this book, but definitely warms your heart with navigating this and the relationship she has, and that it's fantastic. So also recommend that one to warm your heart. So now that we broke your heart last week, we're gonna fix it this week with these really great books. If you have any suggestions of books that are just good heartwarmers, leave them below. Otherwise, head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has for suggestions today. And like and subscribe and all that fun stuff, and we'll see you next time. Bye.